Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the stream. Good morning. Um, I was gonna do this stream a while ago when NASCAR Heat Ultimate came out. However, due to scheduling and a bunch of other things that got in the way, well, being my full time job, not other things, but my full time job got in the way of being able to stream when I wanted to and having the energy to stream. We're going to talk about it today. Um, so NASCAR Heat Ultimate Edition came out, I believe, at the end of November, November 28th or November 19th or something like that. And let me tell you, for people that are going to say it's just Heat 5 on the Switch, you're right, but it's infinitely better than NASCAR 21 Ignition. I still hold that opinion that it's not a good game. NASCAR 21 Ignition is not good. Um, Yesterday, I completed a race. I believe it was at Las Vegas. Um, Exited the game after getting back to the menu. Actually, I don't remember if it was when I got back to the menu, but I finished the race. It saved, and I exited the game, reopened it like 20 minutes later, and it shows that I still have to do the race at Las Vegas. Or I think it was Las Vegas. Richmond was next. I don't remember the schedule. And I say, okay, I'm going to have to do this race again. I go into the race, and it breaks. So what happened was, and I'm actually going to pull up the screenshot that I shared in a Discord server. Um, where is there? Okay. Yeah, the camera was under the car. I couldn't go to any of the menus. It basically locked the game. It broke the game. It locked the game, and I don't know why. That is a pretty major bug. Yes, they've done a lot to improve the game, I will admit, at least as far as I know. They've put out a few patches, but I'm going to be honest, it's too little, too late. They released the game in a sorry state. And a lot of the things that people want, they're not going to add in. Or at least not going to add in the foreseeable future. I've been thinking about this for a while. And I said I was going to give my opinion on NASCAR Heat 5 Ultimate. It's a much better investment. The problem is they're starting from the ground up with 21 Ignition. They don't have a framework to go off of. They've been using the same NASCAR Heat framework for Heat 4 and 5. Hell, even Heat 2 and 3 were the same framework. This is a brand new series, and it shows. Go look at Steam. Go look at the Steam page for NASCAR 21 Ignition. I will tell you that people are having this game refunded. I mean, if we go negative only, what are people saying as recently as yesterday? People are saying not good. I feel bad. A lot of these were at the start of last month. Let's go read positive reviews. If you can buy this one for around $13 as I did, then yes. No way for 60 though. Full of bugs. Now let's hope the Motorsports Game Company will make a miracle. A miracle is needed, and then this will be playable. Yeah, they're not really doing much to this game. Because if we go back to the store page, they literally spent more time working on DLC. People were really upset that they released DLC. Let's look at update 1.3. Added saturation options. Added menu navigation functionality to support wheels. Improved online ghosting feature. Improved vibration. No, I want to see your patch notes. 1.3. Fixed an issue that was causing cars to be placed in the wrong order after restarts under cautions. Fixed an issue that could place the player in first place after every caution restart. AI. Improved the AI's ability to smoothly enter pit road with other cars around. Okay. So a lot of these are things that they could have had day one. Okay. So let's go look at the career, because I play that a lot. Added a feature that will apply improved performance to the player car if they sign a contract with a higher rated team. Yep. Here was a big one for the first 2 months of the game's life cycle. Fixed an issue that was causing the players to start in the wrong position when simulating qualifications. So, there is examples of this. Let's say about a month ago, if you're running the patch prior to this one or the day one launch, you go to the, the Daytona Road Course, second race in the career, and you simulate qualifying. And it says you start 13th on the grid. Okay? That is where you're supposed to start. But you go to the race and you're starting up front? It took them 2 months to address that bug. And there's bugs they still haven't fucking encountered and fixed yet. Fixed an issue. Okay, blah blah blah. Fixed an issue that could cause the player to be placed 40th on the grid at road courses regardless of where they qualified. Fixed an issue that could cause the game to crash after completing 3 seasons in career. So, have they fixed the issue with signing contracts late in the season? Yeah, no, they haven't. Because that's a pretty big bug. Kind of disappointed. And I know I've released buggy software in the past, but at least when I release buggy software and I catch a major bug, I patch it! Or at least I attempt to, and I acknowledge that the bug is there. There's still bugs in the game, and pretty major ones. The game released in a sorry state. I said this a month ago, and the statement still holds true. God damn it. Oh, the game is awful. It is now worth $60. And people will be like, if people point to the earlier games, I don't have the files to edit for people that want to, go play the earlier games and say there's a major bug here, here, and here. I honestly don't have those files anymore because I can't upload RPG Maker projects to GitHub. But I've released applications, a basic income calculator, and I noticed a major bug and I fixed it. I rectified that issue. I rolled out a patch 2 days ago, the day after the application released, to fix the errors that I saw. Okay? When I bug and beta test a game, I get feedback from other people as well because I want feedback because I want to fix things. The fact of the matter is, we are essentially 3 months into the life cycle of this game, and they're probably going to stop with all major updates in March. And people will say, no, they won't. In March, they're already focusing on the next game. Because NASCAR has a yearly release schedule. And they're not going to split their teams to work on 2 projects. My God, I hope they learned something from this. The only reason they couldn't scrap it was because they needed a yearly release. And I'll be honest, NASCAR Heat 5 Ultimate is the better purchase because the game is more complete, it's got more features, it's got the updated roster, not the updated calendar. But you know what? Let me tell you something. I'd rather have a game that I can complete than a shiny new roster and calendar. I'd rather have a game that's playable. NASCAR Heat 5 Ultimate on the Switch is more playable than NASCAR 21 Ignition. And it's only $30. It is only $30 on the Nintendo eShop. You get tons of drivers, tons of tracks, a functioning career mode. Let me tell you, I will tell you the actual price. NASCAR Heat, oh good lord, Windows, Linux, NASCAR Heat Switch. NASCAR Heat Ultimate Plus, is $40. It's $40. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to mislead you. And it released on November 19th. It has been out for a month almost. It is $20 cheaper than NASCAR 21 Ignition. And let me tell you, it definitely seems like the $20 difference is worth it. And for people that say, well, it's just NASCAR Heat 5, and that doesn't stop people from buying it before. There is merit. I say, and to me, overall, it's a better title. The funny thing is, and people will get mad at me for saying this, NASCAR Heat 5 Ultimate. NASCAR, I call it NASCAR Heat 5 Ultimate because that's exactly what it is. That was more complete. That is more complete on the Switch. It runs better. It plays better, in my opinion. And yes, they have fixed some of the issues about the play, in the early patches, and that's good. But to me, they made a terrible first impression. And they're not going to make the major fixes to adhere to NASCAR's rules, to their rules package, and how their events are run. Unfortunately, that would be a major, major patch. That would be a version. That would be a version. That would be a major update. Unfortunately, there is no long-term support for a NASCAR game. It's not like Minecraft that is now on version 1.18. That's long-term support. The most we'll get is maybe a 1.5 or 6 on a NASCAR game. And to be fair, they are working under a lot of circumstances. There are a lot of things that are going against them. NASCAR is a yearly release. It has been since 2012. I don't say, and for people that say, why do you say 2012 and not before then? It was a yearly release before then. It's been a yearly release, I believe, since um, probably the NASCAR racing days, but more so in the NASCAR 98 onwards to 2009 because I'm going to look at NASCAR 2011's release date. Um, but to me, that didn't seem like it was a yearly release title. NASCAR 2011, the game. Yeah, it broke that. It broke the yearly release title or the yearly release cycle because it actually came out in 2011. not 2010. So saying that it's been a yearly release since NASCAR 98 is a bit of a stretch. But it's been a yearly release since at least 2011 because they had NASCAR the Game the Inside Line. Um, I believe then it was NASCAR 13. I can actually look. I'm gonna look at. Yeah, I'm wondering if NASCAR is kind of ashamed by this fiasco. So they don't have the review scores. Yeah, it was not. Screen Rant said the game was chock full of bugs at launch. And yes, um, and I know they were using new development hardware or new development software, I should say. Unreal Engine 4 and R Factor 2. Um, whereas the NASCAR Heat Series used Unity, if I remember correctly. Um, and yeah, I'm gonna say that 21 Ignition is terrible because it is. Like if you go look at, I'm gonna look at the reviews and see what people are saying. So from racedepartment.com, wow. So here are some pros. Um, from well, yeah, no, it's excuse me. It was incredibly buggy at launch. I remember just playing it for a few hours, and that was actually the most recent video on the channel where I talked about it wasn't. It's not very good, in my opinion. I said, "quote It's very bare bones for a NASCAR game. It's a very bare bones game in general. There's no features. There weren't. There aren't very many features. The career mode's not all that engaging. Um, if I had to recommend one game, if I had to recommend 21 Ignition or Heat Ultimate, I would recommend Heat Ultimate. Personally, because Heat Ultimate, yes, it's NASCAR Heat 5, but it's more complete. If you really need a new NASCAR game, do not spend $60 or $90. Do not spend that much money on that game. It is not worth it. I will be 100% honest with you. If I were to have spent $90 on that game, I'd probably be kicking myself in the butt right now. And I feel bad for the people that did spend $90 because it was so incredibly unstable at launch, and it's still somewhat unstable now. So if you could please, if you need a NASCAR game, NASCAR 21 Ignition is not the right choice. If you don't have a Switch or can't afford the $40 and you have Heat 5, just play Heat 5. Because guess what? NASCAR Heat 5, you can create your own custom season. And I've used that a lot. Not only on PC but on Xbox. It is so much nicer to play NASCAR Heat 5. It was so much nicer to play Heat 5 at launch. Because Heat 5 was not so unstable. Oh my god. Heat 5 was more stable than 21 Ignition ever was. Let me be honest. The most that I saw with Heat 5 was when it launched, the rims were always colored green on your custom car, and there were Heat 4 banners. And not everything was updated on the tracks. The trophies had Heat 4 banners. And there were graphical issues. There weren't very many performance issues. It didn't crash or hang. NASCAR Heat Ultimate Edition is definitely the better choice. That's my opinion. And I know people are going to disagree, saying that NASCAR Heat 5 wasn't any good. Because it was just a copy paste of NASCAR Heat 4. That's what you get when you use frameworks. And when you're on a yearly release cycle, they can't always make something new from the ground up. Because guess what? That takes a lot of time that they don't have. NASCAR 21 Ignition started development in 2019. It was in development for 3 years. And that's the best they had at launch. Come on. NASCAR Heat 4 and 5 had better launches. Come on. People that don't like Heat 5 because it's a copy paste of Heat 4. It's a framework. They're building off of the title. NASCAR 22, I'm assuming that's going to be the working title. NASCAR 22 should not take 2 years to develop. NASCAR 22 will be starting, I'm guessing, it will be starting development very soon. I don't know. But considering that the NASCAR season starts in about 3 months, it's probably going to start development very, very soon. And people will say, for people saying, I don't want to play NASCAR Heat Ultimate because it doesn't have the updated schedule with all the tracks. And your point is, you want to run the most recent season. I get it. But you can also substitute tracks. when I created the NASCAR, I believe I made the 98. I'd have to look at my save on my Xbox, but I know I made the 98 schedule, replacing Rockingham with Worldwide Technology Raceway, using Iowa. You know, think about it. They have more than enough tracks you can substitute. People will say, well, NASCAR Heat 5 doesn't have the Bristol dirt. Again, with the updated schedule, you can substitute. You may not be able to substitute a dirt track because they did not allow that functionality for the Cup cars, at least to my knowledge. I can find my Switch and find out. But because there's copywritten music, going to make sure that the sound is turned all the way down. And we're going to load up NASCAR Heat Ultimate. Because I've looked at the tracks. They don't have the updated tracks. They don't have Nashville. But to be fair, when the Xfinity Series was going to Nashville back in the mid 2000s, they also didn't have Nashville. My little brother. Wonder how he's doing today. He's working or. But yeah, I've been thinking about it. I'm like, go with Heat Ultimate. Okay, so we're gonna pick Cup and we're gonna see what tracks they have. But do remember, you know, each game has its positives and negatives. Even NASCAR 21 Ignition has its positives. The game looks good. It's controlling decent now. There's a bit of difficulty, but let's go to race now. Let's go to the Cup Series. We'll just select Tyler Reddick. They've got Atlanta, Auto Club, Bristol, Canadian Tire, Charlotte, Charlotte Roval, Chicagoland, Darlington, Daytona, Dover, Homestead, Indianapolis, the Indy Road Course, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Las Vegas, Martinsville, Michigan, Mid Ohio, New Hampshire, Phoenix, Pocono, Richmond, Road America, Sonoma, Talladega, Texas, Watkins Glen, and WWT Raceway. And again, they're going to have the same roster because, I'll be honest, NASCAR Heat 5 did not have that ability. Hell, in the race modes, go to your championship season. I believe you do have the ability to create a custom season calendar. Hit X and you can create your custom season. So substitute the tracks they don't have. Because it's still 36 races. It's been 36 races for quite some time now. It's been 36 races for at least, I would say, 19 to 20 years. You can substitute Nashville for Road America. Or you can substitute Nashville for, I don't know, Iowa. Or Kentucky. I don't know why you would do Kentucky, but those races didn't seem to do all that well, and it was removed from the schedule anyway. But you can use the tracks they don't use in game or this next season. Because honestly, I wouldn't even. You can't even do a custom season in 21 Ignition. They don't have a season mode. They have a career mode. And that's it. So if I had to recommend a game to anyone, I would recommend NASCAR Heat Ultimate. With that being said, I'm going to end the stream. So I'll talk to you later. Bye! Holy fucking shit!